Live, Laugh, Larceny discusses true petty crimes that may be disturbing to some.
Or could be easy listening to all you psychopaths out there.
All stories are based on actual events, but details may vary.
Listener discretion is not advised.
Live,
Laugh.
Larceny. Welcome to Live, Laugh, Larceny. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, and these nuts roasting in some fleece joggers. This is Trevin.
And I'm Amanda. Thank you for telling us all about your festive nuts, Trevin.
It's only the right thing to do.
So it is our Christmas / holiday / whatever the hell you want it to be episode.
Together in the cold time, and we all are probably experiencing at least one family gathering. So
yes, at least one. I'm sure you've seen at least one light. There's festivity happening around.
So much. Even my asshole neighbors that called on our dog. Very festive
They're festive as well. I know. I've been seeing their decor go up. I'm still appalled by them. But thank you for getting into the holiday spirit, I guess, ?
Yeah, it's better than all those political signs they had all over the place.
Exactly. So, Trevin.
Yes.
Do you have a dreadful dilemma?
I have a dreadful dilemma this week. And I actually had this heartfelt one that I was going to say, and I may come back on it at the end of this episode and talk about it, about, how we're preparing to just go into the next year with a lot of big plans.
Yeah.
But then I got kind of distracted from the dreadful dilemma I wanted to do by another one because I'm obsessed with another TV show.
Which one?
Emily and I have been watching Human versus Hamster, and we love it.
Oh, I have never heard of this.
I thought we all needed something not so heartfelt and heavy in the dilemma department today. I think you all need to know about Human versus Hamster.
Please tell.
I am a huge fan of Sarah Sherman. I don't know if I talked about, we went to her show earlier in the year from SNL. So funny. I love their sense of humor. Anyway, Sarah Sherman is the host of this show.
Okay.
And it's kind of like a mixture of Wipeout and sort of like skills challenges games, but it's people versus hamsters. So they set up these little tracks or whatever that are hamster sizes, but then there's giant human-sized hamster mazes too. And so they start and they will watch a little hamster do the course and see if another person can get the course done faster. And a lot of times, of course, they're hamsters, so they stop and do like weird hamster stuff. And it's like really cute because they're just being little animals. But
like what? Do they just go like, and their little whiskers and their little hands?
Yeah, they build little characters around them and they have little names. They have one that they call Romeo, and they show little pictures of him backstage in front of a mirror, like doing his hair. So anytime he stops to groom himself on the track, they use it as part of his character and make the joke that it's like, oh, Romeo's just got to look good for his crowd. Anytime he's in a race and he stops and he starts doing his hair, they're talking about how he's like so vain and everything. But on the other end of the screen is somebody just running their ass off trying to like keep up with the speed of a hamster. It's on Max.
Oh, okay. I get on Max all the time. How come this has never been recommended to me? Is this brand spanking new?
Yeah, it came out maybe a week or two ago. Maybe it was just a week ago, actually.
Still, they should have been marketing towards me harder.
They really should have. But yes, I thought instead of anything cynical about the holidays, if you're hanging out with family that maybe isn't family that you get along with too well, or you have a hard time finding things that you relate on, watch Human versus Hamster. It is a great choice. It's fun. A lot of people are like, oh, I could do that. And then you get really surprised by what people can and can't do compared to hamsters. You learn a lot of weird hamster facts.
Oh, God.
And also, I just really love Sarah Sherman, and it's so fun and entertaining. It's stupid, but they know it's stupid and it's fun.
Is Sarah the only one kind of doing voiceovers like during the race, or is anyone else talking about it?
It's Sarah Sherman and Kyle Brandt, and he was a sports announcer once before.
Oh my God, that's brilliant.
Yes, they bring in contestants, and basically what the storyline is They want to know scientifically who's the dominant species, like cheesily, as a joke. So they have people come in as teams, and they'll do like the teachers, or one was the trivia guys. They don't pay you very much. The most you can win is $800 or $8,000. I was
like 800.
Most you can get is $8,000, and you have to do these challenges. Like one, they say that a hamster can push something their own weight, like really super easily. So they have a track where the hamster has to push a car that's the same weight as it up like a spiral track.
Oh, wow.
And then a person has to push a truck that weighs the same weight as them up a spiral track.
Oh, hell no. A hamster would beat me.
Oh, the hamster beats a lot of people. But again, like I said, it's just really cute when the hamsters get off track and do like silly little things. But it's really fun. And also with Kyle and Sarah, as they go on, you can see how it seems like maybe they were just linked up to do this job together, but by like the second or third episode, you can tell they're just having so much more fun together.
And do they get to do improv? Kind of?
Oh, she does improv for sure.
Okay. I was wondering. I know we are not improv comedians, but, we throw out our little bullshit here and there. And I think that working with a hamster and having to narrate it would be so fun.
Oh, and there's so many bad puns because Sarah loves being like anti-humor.
Yeah.
A lot of times she goes, hamster la vista, baby.
Oh my God. Well, I have to watch this. Wow.
You do. The girls would love it. Jordan would love it. I know my family would love it. So many people that even if you think it's stupid, it's like, yeah, it's stupid. Let's see how they do it.
Yeah. No, my girls would love that. Have you ever seen the show The Floor is Lava?
I've heard of it. I know of it, but I've never actually watched it.
Lila and I enjoy watching that together. So it kind of seems like a show that's kind of like that. Because, yeah, they have fake lava bubbling and they have to like jump like an adult version of The Floor is Lava. So it kind of seems similar. That is so interesting. Wow. And that came shortly after my hamster fact about going up into the outer stratosphere.
Yes, I thought that was so weird when I was editing that the other day. And I'm like, oh, wow, I had no idea that just on the other side of that recording, I was going to discover the love of hamster media.
You are just attracting hamsters your way, and I don't know what that means for you, but it's cute.
Hamster la vista, baby.
Well, I also have a dreadful dilemma, and it does have to do with the holidays. I believe I've said this in previous Christmas episodes that we've done, but if you're listening to this podcast right now with little kids, maybe just don't.
Oh, yeah, you started the last Christmas. Yep, I just re-listened to this the other day.
Did you? Okay, the only reason I'm saying this is because I'm going to be an honest and raw mother at this moment and kind of pull the curtain back, and talk about the behind the scenes magic that is Christmas.
The Wizard of Oz of momming.
Yes, and I don't want to ruin that for any of your little ones. So now is the time to save this for another moment. If you're with your youngins.
One day we're going to have to make a Christmas episode that is kid-friendly. Jeez.
I know. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, but I just have to tell you guys about this dreadful dilemma. Okay. So I know in the past I've talked about Elf on the Shelf, and that was a dreadful dilemma because at one point I didn't even know it was a thing, and my child basically brought it to my attention because other kids were getting elves, and then I had to quickly catch back up. Her elf wrote a letter being like, I got lost on the way over, blah, blah, blah. It was the whole thing.
What was her name again? Twinkle?
Olivia.
What the fuck? Why am I thinking Twinkle?
Twinkle.
It must be somebody else's that I know.
Twinkle's actually a very cute and festive name.
I think that's actually one of the nieces or nephews.
Okay.
Now that I think about it.
No. So anyway, last year, Lila was getting pretty fed up sharing Olivia, the elf, with her little sister, Winnie. And she's like, when is Winnie going to get her own elf? Come on. Like, I want her to be my own, blah, blah, blah.
But it's not like you play with it. You just got to go find it.
Well, of course, I'm non-traditional. So, like, her elf isn't the one where it has a soft body and, like, a hard head. It's not the traditional one. It's a full stuffed animal. It's all very soft.
So you can't pose it and stuff?
No, you can. You can.
Oh, okay.
You just have to be a little more creative, but I figure out a way. But no, she gets to keep Olivia year-round as a stuffed animal. She plays with her, has her year round, but her magic only happens December 1 through, I think it ends at Christmas. So she's wanted her sister to have her own elf. And I thought about, okay, should I just get, the same type of elf that Lila already has? But then I found online when I was just looking up Elf on the Shelf, they made baby elves.
Aww.
They're called Frost Pips. I don't know why they're given that name.
Okay.
But they do have the hard head and a soft body. But I was willing to overlook it because of how cute it is. It's just a body. They don't have arms or legs. Just a round little body with a little elf head. And you can get boys, girls. You can get different colored eyes, hair, whatever. I found one and it looked exactly like Olivia, but just a baby version. Mm-hmm. So I was like, perfect. Oh my fucking God. I ordered it to get it picked up at a CVS. I picked it up, and when I opened this thing, I thought it was going to be like, I don't know, probably like this big.
Yeah.
Lila's elf is a good 12 inches. I thought it was going to be like less than half of that or something.
Yeah, like a true mini version.
No, it's way fucking smaller.
Oh, I thought you were going to say huge.
No, Trevin. It is literally 2 inches, I think. And that's from the tip of the hat to the bottom of the butt. It is the smallest little fucking thing. It has been through so much. I've almost lost it so many times. Let me just give you a brief rundown of where it's been. My dad, he does Rover. Shout out. Everyone knows him as Papa Dennis on the show.
What up, Papa D? My
dad, he does Rover. He takes care of dogs. Sometimes he'll take my daughter with him. She brought the elf. A dog had it in its mouth at one point.
Not even one of her own dogs.
Not even one of her own dogs. A random dog. It got lost, hidden deep within the couch another time. It got hidden underneath a few items in the wagon one day. You guys, it's very hard to keep track of these little things.
You'll be excited when she graduates to a full-size elf.
Yes, I'm gonna have it grow. Next year in the note, it's gonna be like, hello, I've developed. I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't with the baby elf.
Yeah, made it 1 year and that's it. Then donate it to somebody. Another unlucky mother.
I'll show you pictures when we're done and we'll post them online. The drastic difference between sizes. Your mind is going to be blown.
Yikes. Well, that sounds dreadful. And I mean, losing small things is annoying for everybody. And kids have enough small toys.
Oh, good God. Tell me about it. Well, Trevin, I have a gift for you.
You do?
And I'd like you to open it on the podcast because this is something that may have been mentioned a time or two.
Uh-oh, I think I know what this is.
And it's time that I deliver.
Okay, here we go. I'm opening up this present. It is a bidet.
I got Trevin a bidet attachment for their bathroom. It's not the same exact one that I have. The knob is a little different. Mine's on top and it's like a round knob. This one's, they said it's actually pretty convenient because it's just like a little handle.
Yeah.
And you turn it to the front or you turn it to the back.
Oh, mama.
I've talked about my bidet for how long now? I think I've told you I needed to get you a bidet for Christmas, 2 years in a row?
I think it's been multiple years for sure.
So you need this bidet.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to do this. Emily just told me the other day, she said, actually a bidet might not be too bad. Because every time I've ever said, Amanda's probably going to get us a bidet one day. Because I said, we keep making these bidet jokes on the show. And she's like, ugh, bidet? We don't need one of those. And then I think she watched something about wastefulness or something. And then she was just like, bidet sounds great.
No. Trevin, it's a game changer.
Oh, I believe it.
For kids, for adults, for everyone involved, male, female. We use ours all the time. It's a beautiful thing. It's a clean, beautiful stream of happiness.
I love that. Well, I actually did have a present plan for you that I hadn't fully cooked the idea all the way through, but
don't worry about it.
I have wanted to do something that I think is very thoughtful because I know that you're a mom who works from home. I know you don't get a lot of time to really get some of those mom thoughts off your mind and stuff.
Yeah.
And I wanted to give you the gift of therapy if you wanted it. And I want to pledge I will pay $200 per month for 1 year.
What?
To do that for you and to start that journey for you.
Oh my God, Trevin.
I'm serious.
You do not have to do that at all.
No, that's okay.
Well, thank you so much.
You think that's like an awful gift and you don't want to do that, then we can do something small, but it won't be near as much of what I would do for the therapy thing.
No. I've wanted and needed to do it for so long. Mm-hmm. You know, as a mom, especially, it's hard for me to be like, you know what? I'm going to take this money and just put it towards me. It's so hard to even consider that thought for me. I know a lot of moms out there probably feel the same way. So thank you, my God.
Yeah, you're welcome. So however that comes out, if you just go once a month or if you do multiple times a month, that's how much I will put towards for a year.
Holy shit, Trevin. Hell yeah. Yeah. Holy shit. I'm so touched.
I'm taking things forward to help with my mental state more and more. And it's like, I want to see you do that too. And I want you to have that ability available to you.
Oh, thank you, Trevin. God damn, the gift of therapy. How can it get any fucking better?
I like giving gifts that I know people can use.
I could use it. I mean, we always talk about it. I've gone. It's just been so long. Everybody could use it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really sweet. Well, thank you, Trevin.
You're welcome.
My gift will help you clean your butt, and your gift will help me clean my mind.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a round of top 5 this week.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Top 5.
Yes, and you're going first, and it was your call. You said you wanted to do top 5 for Christmas special.
Yes, and this might be a little bit longer than a normal top 5. It's not just like 5 things really quickly, but...
Shit. Mine's the same way.
Is it?
Well, you know what, guys? It's the last episode of the year, like last real one, so...
Yes.
If it's longer, deal with it.
I know there was a gift exchange. You know, we're doing it all this episode. I guarantee it's probably going to be a little bit long, but hey... Maybe if you want to, you can listen to half now, save it for the next week, listen to the other half.
There you go. Maybe we'll release it in halves.
Part 1, part 2.
People would hate that.
Okay, so top 5. I'm going to be talking about 5 holiday traditions and their bizarre origins.
Ooh, okay. Some good history stuff, I'm sure.
Yes, I had a great article on my side from Business Insider. It was written by Sophia Mitrokostas. I hope I said that last name right. I guarantee I didn't. And she wrote about 10 traditions in this article. I'm only going to talk about the top 5, in my opinion, things that I actually do as traditions, or at least that I've heard of and that I found fascinating. So... I'm going to start with number 5, which is mistletoe. Did you know, Trevin, that mistletoe was used to pardon criminals in the past?
I did not.
York Minster Church in the UK began to hold a special mistletoe service each winter. During that service, criminals from the town could come and bring a sprig of mistletoe to be pardoned for their wrongdoings.
Do you think there was a limit to how much the mistletoe could pardon?
It doesn't say, but shoot. If you got to bring a bouquet of mistletoe for all your damn sins, then bring it.
So is that the actual origin? Like that's how it started?
That's just how it was used in the UK back when.
Oh, okay.
I don't know about like here in the US or anywhere else. You guys, if you've heard that where you live, or if you haven't, let us know. But yeah, I don't know how it went from being used for that to kissing. I just thought that was very fascinating.
I love that. And it ties so well with the show.
Perfectly with the show. Number 4 is milk and cookies for Santa. This actually began as a Great Depression ritual in America. According to the History Channel, parents encouraged children to leave cookies for Santa during that time of economic hardship. It was to show that you should always be grateful for the things that you were given, and that giving was just as good as receiving.
Oh, I love that.
Isn't that wholesome yet really sad.
It's like all we can really give is milk and cookies right now.
Hey, if you had milk and cookies during the Great Depression, you probably did think that was quite special, right?
I would think so.
I do love that, though, that even during like the worst time, like in America economically, that they were like, we can still give a little, you know?
I think that shows the resilience of people, because that's when I think there's something in our instinct to survive communally. And once it starts to get dark and bad enough, then we all start to find that community, like I talked about a couple episodes ago.
Desperately. So number 3, Santa coming down the chimney. There are countless European legends that tell of both helpful and malicious supernatural creatures sneaking into homes through chimneys. In Greece, goblins called Kalakanzario were known to crawl into homes through the chimney and terrorize the families within them. Another story took place in 19th century Pennsylvania, and the creature's name was Pelzenickel or Belzenickel, and they apparently slipped down chimneys to reward good children with oranges and punish naughty ones with a whip. Like, my God, what?
Yeah, what? Okay.
There's a lot of creepy urban legends and supernatural creatures, apparently, that were discussed about coming down the chimney before Santa.
I'm like cooking up a new sexual role-playing thing. I've been bad and my chimney's open, if you know what I mean.
You are a naughty boy, Trevin. You save that for your personal time. I know this isn't something I should laugh at, but this one did give me a slight chuckle, okay? Number 2 is Christmas caroling. In the 1700s, carolers would sometimes break down doors and demand food and drink from residents. They would sometimes threaten violence, destroy property, and sing songs with lyrics such as, "We've come here to claim our right, and if you don't open up your door, we'll lay it upon the floor."
Ooh, I love it.
I have no idea if that's the melody, but that's the lyrics.
I'm feeling it. You know, that almost sounds like it could be a Christmas story of ours one day.
I know.
If like an actual instance of petty criminal caroling like that.
But like, how rude. I'm sorry. Not everyone wants to listen to you sing, and I for damn sure don't want you like, la 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 la, breaking down my door, stealing my shit.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Isn't it kind of humorous, though? I'm like picturing carolers like demanding food.
Well, it's like, how long did this last before one got shot or something and then they just stopped doing it, you know?
They're like, fine, we'll just sing. Goddamn.
Yeah, like quit breaking all of our shit just to spread cheer.
We will eat before the performance. Fine. And then my final top 5 fact, which is very creepy. And I'm going to talk about the Nutcracker Ballet. We all know it as like, you know, the traditional Christmas ballet show that goes on. I've never actually seen it. Have you ever?
I've seen Barbie's Nutcracker.
I actually think I've seen that one too. Is that a movie?
Yeah, my little sister. It was like that really bad CG stuff that would it was
yes.
like the early 2000s.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
The original story, however, of the Nutcracker is actually very dark. And I didn't know this. So it was based on the 1816 story, The Nutcracker and the Mouse King, by German author E.T.A. Hoffmann. In the tale, a 7-year-old girl named Marie slices her arm open after being startled by a vision of her toy Nutcracker coming to life. As she recuperates, her godfather tells her the tale of a man cursed with the ugliness of a nutcracker by a heartless queen. When Marie eventually declares that she would love the Nutcracker no matter his appearance, she is whisked away in the doll kingdom to marry him. The two are wed within a year of meeting, even though that would make Marie 8 years old at the time of her marriage.
Ew.
Kind of cringy. Can't be marrying 8-year-old kids, Nutcrackers. Come on.
What toy would you want to marry?
Oh, God. Maybe like a G.I. Joe or...
Ugh.
Just kidding. That'd be so annoying. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'm picturing their voices on Toy Story where they're like, ha, 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 like all the combat Carls.
Mm-hmm.
No. If I had to marry a toy toy. God, I don't know. What would you marry?
I had a pretty nice Storm action figure from X-Men. I think she would have probably been nice.
That would be a good one. I would honestly probably like to marry like a big stuffed animal that I can just cuddle into, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So that's it for me, Trevin. Did you know any of that?
No, I didn't. I've heard many different things about carolers. That's definitely not one I've heard. But yeah, those were all very interesting and not quite what I thought when you had first said traditions. That's like the little subjects and why they are what they are.
Bizarre.
Well, mine's a little scattered too.
Okay.
But I did this once before and I can't remember what the subject was. But I did Trevin's top 5 favorite facts that he found on this date or whatever.
It was a 420 episode.
Oh, it was a 421. Okay.
I know you did it on there. You may have done it on something else too, but that's the one I remember.
So I'm going to give you Trevin's top 5 favorite Christmas facts of 2024.
Ooh. So the recent facts?
No, they're just what I found.
Okay.
For the Christmas of 2024, these are my favorite facts.
You're like, they could change next year.
No, these are cemented for 2024.
Okay.
If I run out of ideas and I want to do 2025's version, I can, though. So for number 5, since 2007, the Rockefeller Center Christmas tree has been repurposed into lumber and donated to Habitat for Humanity, spreading Christmas spirit long after the holidays.
Oh, wow. That is about the most wholesome ass fact I've ever heard.
I didn't even know that. I thought that was really interesting.
Huh.
Statement number 4, or fact number 4, sorry. Surrealist artist Salvador Dali once sent Harpo Marx a harp strung with barbed wire as a Christmas gift. Harpo responded by posing with the harp, his fingers wrapped in bandages.
Good one.
Very fun.
Good one.
He's been in one of my facts before, too. It was something about death. I think it was his final words. And I remember just saying, clever. I love it. I should probably look more into more Marx Brothers stuff, honestly.
It sounds honestly right up your alley.
Fact number 3. Landscape crews cover evergreen trees with fox urine to prevent theft. The smell is undetectable in cold temperatures, but once a stolen tree warms indoors, it emits an eye-watering, cat urine-like stench that ruins Christmas cheer.
So then what do? Wash it off before people buy it and take it home?
So this was something I had seen on like Idaho colleges and a Nebraska college and stuff. A lot of these places where they are decorated with big evergreen trees.
Yeah.
They're spraying them with the urine because some people come and chop down their trees and steal them for Christmas trees.
Wow.
So in the cold weather, it doesn't stink, but if you go and steal a tree that shouldn't be used indoors, it will thaw out and just stink your house up.
Woo! See, that could have been a petty crime story too.
Yeah.
These are so good.
I love that. Fact number 2, in 1977, a prequel to How the Grinch Stole Christmas came out, and it was called Halloween is Grinch Night. It was so good it actually won an Emmy in 1978.
What, a movie?
Mm-hmm. It was a made-for-TV movie, just like the original.
Is it illustrated, like cartoon?
Yeah, it's a cartoon.
Really?
I think you can find it on YouTube.
Whoa.
But I found some people that were talking about it. Yeah, the original came out in 66, and then they made the prequel in 77. But I'm guessing that when they made the new one for DreamWorks or whatever, they, I guess, did not care to use anything from that to build from. The original voice of the Grinch, that guy had died already, so he wasn't the voice of the Grinch. But the guy who sang all the lyrics from the original song came and sang lyrics for the second one too.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah.
I'm going to have to check that one out.
And for my number 1 fact of Christmas in 2024. In Catalonia and parts of southern France, children celebrate Tio de Nadal, which translates to the Christmas log, by beating it with sticks and singing songs, demanding it to defecate presents.
Wait, is this just like, how do they choose what log to beat? Just any old log?
Tio de Nadal has a Wikipedia page. And now they kind of almost have them as silly little elves on the shelves. They look like a little stump and they put a face on them. And sometimes they put feet on them.
Cute.
They treat them right and decorate them and stuff like that. But then on Christmas Day, in the old days, back when everybody had fireplaces in their houses, they put Tio partly into the fireplace and order it to defecate. To make it defecate, one beats the log with sticks while singing various songs.
Are you going to sing me a Christmas song about defecating logs?
And I have the lyrics translated to English.
Yes.
Shit log, Hazelnuts and nougats. Do not shit herrings, for they are too salty. Shit nougats, for they taste better. Shit log. Almonds and nougats. And if you don't want to shit, I'll hit you with a stick. Shit log.
What?
The tradition says that before beating the log, all of the children must leave the room and go to another place of the house to pray, asking for the log to deliver a lot of presents. Nowadays, the praying tradition has been left behind. Still, children go to a different room, usually the kitchen, to warm their stick next to a fire. So they're just preparing for battle. The log does not drop larger objects, as those are considered to be brought by the 3 wise men. It does leave candies, nuts, torrons, and small toys, depending on the region of Catalonia. It may also bring dried figs. They say it's communal gifts rather than individual gifts, so I guess whatever they get, they share it. But it's oftenly called cagatillo, which translates to shitting log or poo log.
Oh my God. The fact that they used to go and pray beforehand and they're like, let's cut that out. Let's cut that part out. Just go beat this log and curse at it.
I mean, beating a log with a hot stick and ordering it to shit, that's a godless tradition. Let's be honest.
Let's be so honest with ourselves. Oh my God. And how funny is it that they market it now and like put a cutesy face on it? That's such a good marketing plan.
It's like their own little elf on a shelf. It's a decorated log that you can probably load in from the top, and then your kids just come and beat it like a piñata until little candies come out.
Oh my God. It actually sounds quite fun. I would never beat up the elf on the shelf, though. That's where I draw the line. But the log, I guess that's what they're there for.
Yep. That's what else are logs for?
Well, you know what else we have, and you don't have to beat it to get the information.
Oh, yeah?
It's these ads.
You can't beat these ads.
And welcome back.
Welcome, holiday festive wonder.
Yes, wonder from above. So I have a story from the news for our Christmas episode. I was reflecting back on previous Christmas episodes and the crimes that we've done in the past, and I wanted to make sure that this one was different. And let me just say, this one has a ton of surprises along the way. I think it is going to be a new take on it. And here we ho, ho, ho! We're told that the Grinch is a fictional Christmas character who lurks from a secluded mountaintop. He's described in stories as an outcast, a mean, green, Christmas-hating machine. Notorious for his sage-colored fur, shrunken heart, and refusal to wear pants, the Grinch is a feared creature by many.
Where are his pants?
This is especially true for the pointy-nosed people of Whoville that live directly underneath his monstrous mountain. Yet that doesn't mean the rest of us with normal noses shouldn't be afraid. As I became an adult, I realized that there is a Grinch in every community. Maybe they aren't as green and hairy, and perhaps they wear actual pants. Regardless of their outer appearances, they all possess a negativity within their cold and puny hearts. Unlike Dr. Seuss's version of this green gremlin, today's tale won't end with a change of heart or holiday cheer. Hell, this story doesn't even rhyme. So prepare yourselves as I tell you all the real-life petty version of how the Grinch stole Christmas. Nestled deep in Lehigh Acres, Florida in 2023, the community was preparing for the festive holiday season. Greenery and lights were strung about the city, and Christmas trees were adorned with ornaments inside of warm homes. Presents were packaged, stockings were hung, and the eggnog was spiked. The quiet streets were peaceful and still. That is, until early one morning when a scream rang out. This loud and unpleasant noise came from the mouth of 39-year-old Shaina Hudson. She stood paralyzed in her living room beside the family's illuminated tree. Not only was the scream heard all over the county, but it also made its way to the ears of her 5 distracted children. The startled kids tossed their tablets to the ground and stampeded down the hall towards their mom.
Mom, is everything okay?
Kid 1 asked in a panic. But before Shaina could respond, Kid 2 interjected.
Everything is not okay! That screechy yelp made me lose my video game!
Oh, shut up. You would have lost that round anyway. Kid 3 remarked back to Kid 2.
Will all of you zip it? I want to know what's going on!
Kid 4 yelled over the first 3 kids.
Quiet!
Kid 5 shouted over everyone.
Mom, where are all of our Christmas presents?
Shaina trembled as she turned towards her beloved offspring.
That's why I let out a blood-curdling scream, children. Our Christmas gifts have been stolen.
The family wrapped their arms around each other and fell to the floor while they sobbed. The pile of people was a mix of tears, snot, and downright sadness. After a minute of this, Shaina dried her tears, blew her nose, and turned her head to face her kids.
Don't worry. Mommy will fix this,
she promised with a determined look in her eye. Hours later, Shaina had filed a police report on behalf of the stolen items and had a meeting set up with a local news crew to discuss the Christmas crisis. A reporter and camera person stood in front of the family's home, recording Shaina as she explained the robbery and pled to the criminal that did it.
I wanted my kids to have a decent Christmas, but now they're not gonna have a Christmas at all because some thief came and stole our shit. Turn yourself in and bring us back our stuff so me and my kids can have a good Christmas.
The footage was released on the local news that evening, causing city residents to clutch their pearls in disbelief. No one could understand how someone could be so heartless, and during the holidays no less. It didn't take the community long to rally around Shaina's family. New gifts and donations poured in from many individuals and businesses. Soon, the once bare and burglarized tree was surrounded by towers of presents. Peace and stillness seemed to return to the terrified neighborhood, including the local police station. Inside, police officers high-fived each other, not for catching the present thief, but for helping restore the Christmas spirit to 5 innocent children. Officer Bert and Officer Ernie sat at their desk with big grins on their faces when a phone call came in. Officer Bert picked up the receiver.
Hello, this is Officer Bert.
Hi, I'm speaking in a weird voice because I'd like to remain anonymous.
The mysterious caller said in a weird voice.
But I have a tip about the stolen Christmas gifts in Lehigh Acres.
Well, that certainly is a weird voice, but I'm glad to take any tips about the case.
The officer leaned forward to take notes if needed.
The so-called stolen presents are hidden in the laundry room in one of Shaina's family members' homes. I can give you the address.
The anonymous caller confessed into the phone.
Are you suggesting that a family member stole presents from those children?
The officer questioned suspiciously.
It wasn't a family member that put them there. It was Shaina.
On November 19th, 2023, 39-year-old Shaina Hudson reported her 5 children's Christmas gifts and a few other items stolen from her home. She appeared on a Lehigh Acres, Florida news station, describing how her kids' gifts were stolen and begged the thief to turn themselves in and return their things. The community supported Shaina, giving donations and new gifts to her family. However, a few weeks later, a tip came in to the Lee County Sheriff's Office from an unnamed source. They accused Shaina of fabricating the story and told officers that she had hid the presents behind a relative's dryer. After the gifts were indeed discovered in the family member's laundry room, Sheriff Carmine Marcino was quoted saying,
"This pathetic behavior is unacceptable, especially given the circumstances this holiday season. This woman took advantage of the system and is now paying the price for her selfish choices."
Shaina Hudson was arrested on December 4th, 2023, where she was booked at the county prison and charged with making a fraud false report to law enforcement. No punishment was listed. In a video posted on Facebook, you can see Shaina being handcuffed and arrested, but it isn't just her and an officer making an appearance. Dancing and prancing around Shaina as she is placed in the cop car is the local deputy dressed in a Grinch costume. It's unfortunate when a Grinch has to ruin all the holiday fun for others, even if it means that the Grinch steals their own Christmas. I don't have all the answers or reasons for this senseless petty crime, but I did find a quote from Dr. Seuss's version, and with a slight pronoun adjustment, it sums up this entire tale perfectly. So I will leave you all with this theory and iconic quote. Now please, don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason. It could be her head wasn't screwed on just right. It could be perhaps her shoes were too tight. But I think that the most likely reason of all may have been that her heart was 2 sizes too small.
Damn, something told me this was going to be like Gone Girl, but with presents.
You called it. You called it. And I didn't know if I should include the part of the arrest happening with the obnoxious dancing and shimmering and shaking Grinch character more, but I was like, I'll just save that for a little tidbit in the recap. But it's obnoxious, guys. Mm-hmm. So truly.
It was one of the deputies, because I guess they already knew that she was well known in the community for being the person who had her stuff stolen. I guess you'd have to have a very supportive chief, right? To say, okay, you can dress as the Grinch while you make this.
No, straight up, Trevin, like everyone had to be on board. They had to purchase a Grinch costume. Mm-hmm. They had to put it on. They recorded it. The media was there. It's a viral video. The police then reposted it. Of course, they were proud of themselves and put it on their social media. And I get it. The whole community felt like they were lied to, and it was a very freaking Grinch thing to do. Literally stealing the presents.
And she did it way before Christmas.
Yeah.
I thought, in my head, I was thinking it was closer to Christmas. Yeah, December 3rd, so...
I didn't put this in there. When she filed the first report, it was in November that all of the gifts were stolen. So yeah, it was like, God dang, Shaina, you were ahead of the game. I'm just now in December and wrapping my first thing of gifts. But apparently hers were wrapped, put under the tree in November and stolen.
That's how you know something's up.
That's how you know something's up. And then it was discovered and she was arrested December 4th, all before Christmas. Yeah.
I really want to know what she got.
I'm
so curious.
I know. I was looking and looking. But, everyone just wants the headline of the Grinch and tying it to the story and,
faking your own presents being stolen.
Yeah. I was like, this is absurd. I really wanted to do a fraud scammer Christmas story because that's one that I was like, I don't think we've really done that. You did do the Grinch, like you reminded me how the Grinch stole Jesus.
Yeah.
Which, I knew that the Grinch was a risky thing that gets used a lot.
It's okay.
But I was like, this is a way it's never happened before. It's the Grinch that stole their own Christmas.
Yeah, I still really want to know what she got. But
yeah.
What do you think? What do you think a mom like that should get?
I would definitely make her, because how could you make her return gifts to the kids that
are her own kids? I know, but she still did get everybody up in a tizzy about it.
I feel like she would have to do community service, no questions about it. I don't think that deserves jail time.
No.
But I think that she should have to pay back somehow, if it's gradually or whatever, because I do feel bad. She has 5 kids. That's a lot of kids. But also you can't lie and create a fake crime either. So I feel like if they made her do community service where she really was giving back to the community that she lied to, and maybe paid a fine back to people who donated funds to her, gradually pay them back.
Yeah, paid for every single wage of the person that was wasted. That sounds good to me.
That's what I would say, but I don't know. Everyone has their own opinions on punishments, probably.
Yeah. Oh, if you look on TikTok.
Whoo! if you look anywhere, really, people are like, off with their head.
Yeah, when I put the guy pissed on the cornflake thing, all these people are like, death penalty, death penalty.
Right.
You sick people.
I know, but that is really messed up. Mm-hmm. And because she did a press conference, maybe make her do another press conference, but admitting to it and saying sorry.
It also kind of leaves like gross taste in my mouth as like, you're the parent of these kids and you manipulated them and the system and all these different things. I mean, unless you were being completely open, petty criminal and just being like, hey kids, I'm going to fuck over some people. And you at least were honest with them. I think honestly, I would probably get more behind that than if you were trying to manipulate your kids too. Because if you're willing to do that, think about what the in-home ecosystem's like.
I know. Gross. I have a feeling that it is that just from a parent's perspective, you can't tell your kids everything because they will blab it. You know, when I was pregnant with Winnie, Lila was blabbing it to anyone and everyone who was around her, even if I wasn't necessarily ready for that.
I still resent her for it.
So if she told all her kids, I think that'd be too risky for her.
I doubt she did.
For the police coming around and asking questions, they'd be like, yeah, mommy told us we'll get them back soon, though. Like, couldn't you see that?
Yeah, I totally agree. It's just, I don't want to make the allegations that she's a really manipulative parent, but it's like, oh, that evidence ain't great.
It isn't great. It isn't great at all. I just thought that this crime was very bizarre. Not only was it like a fraud kind of con thing, but then to have the deputy dressed as the Grinch.
That's fun, and I like that a lot. Well, our stories are going to have some good connections, I think.
Oh, good.
And not in like a really super basic way.
Oh, good.
This week, I've got a story from the news. I was going through kind of the same thing as you. Like, what kind of way do I want to do my holiday episode this year? I did the Grinch Stole Jesus. I did the cool, or at least I thought it was cool, the costume party and stealing the thumb from the museum.
Yes.
So we've got a bunch of different ones. But I kind of wanted to go for my idea of almost like an 80s Christmas movie.
Ooh.
So I'm going as Christmas as my idea of a Christmas movie.
Okay.
And the more I think about it, I think it could be one. You guys have to tell me. So I have nothing else to say about this, but just enjoy. When sitting down for a holiday story, what do you expect to be in it? Is it a suburban street blanketed in snow? Each house meticulously and unrealistically decorated, as though every family has pooled their excess funds into a pissing contest with twinkling lights?
Mine's bigger.
Is it a fireplace crackling while a family gathers, wearing their finest microplastic sweaters, purchased specifically for this one day of faux festive Instagram glory? If so, you're not wrong for picturing it. That image is exactly what I want you to conjure. Because even though it's a manufactured ideal, endlessly recycled by holiday movies, glossy ads, and capitalism itself, it's the mold people force their own traditions into. It's comforting for some, performative for others, and downright suffocating for anyone caught in the crossfire of someone else's Yuletide vision.
Wear the ugly sweater, or I'll bury you in it.
Personally, I think it's all bullshit. Sure, tradition can be fun, but the cracks start to show when people twist themselves into holiday versions of someone they're not. Resentment scratching at their skin like those non-recyclable sweaters, all to keep up appearances. But here's the twist. Whether you use the holidays as another chance to chase an image you'll never reach, or like me, spend your time dissecting the emptiness of it all, both of these people share a common enemy. What you're about to hear is a nightmare on 34th Street, or maybe it's a miracle on Elm Street. No matter what your beliefs, there's no gift in the presence of a bad kid. Grandma's house during the holidays. Cozy, but only because it's a sweltering 85 degrees, just the way she likes it. You can practically feel the layers of nostalgia and mothballs in the air. The food? Straight from the woman who taught your cook how to cook. And the best part? The heads of the household dish out way less punishment than your parents back home.
More sugar will calm you down.
But for 12-year-old Bryson, this year's trip to Granny's was shaping up to be anything but merry and bright. His mother glanced back at him in the rearview mirror, her eyes darting between the road ahead and her son in the back seat. She blinked quickly, subtly wiping at the tears forming in her eyelids, careful not to let Bryson see.
Can you step on it, Mom?
Bryson shouted, his voice piercing the quiet car ride and making her jump.
The faster I get to Granny's, the faster I get my sweet GameBoy Advance SP.
She took a deep breath, steadying herself.
Now, Bryson,
she began, her tone firmer than it had been in months.
This isn't just a couple weeks at Granny's. This is a chance to teach you some manners. The shoplifting? Stealing money from my purse? Bryson, this can lead to serious problems in your life. I'm hoping some time where I grew up can help you turn things around.
Bryson stared down at his hands, his expression blank and detached, as if her words didn't even register. After a beat, he mumbled,
That old hag better have gotten my Game Boy. I know your broke ass can't afford it.
Her throat tightened as she swallowed down the familiar lump that rose every time he spoke to her this way. It never went down easily, but she had yet to encounter one that she couldn't pass. With her captor comfortably, though begrudgingly seated in the back seat, the mother pressed a little harder on the gas. She wanted to escape her son just as desperately as he wanted to get his presents. Bryson's mom opened the door to her childhood home, arms loaded with Bryson's bags, while he followed behind empty-handed.
Jennifer!
Bryson's granny called out, wrapping his mom in a big hug.
It's been so long! I'm so glad you could make it!
Me too. It's been a tough year.
His mom replied, still trying to balance the bags around her arms while returning the hug. Bryson shoved past the two women, making his mother lose her balance under the weight of the bags.
Excuse me, the doorway is freezing.
Bryson snapped.
I don't have time for hugs.
Bryson, remember that it's the holiday.
I'll take it from here.
Bryson cut in, turning his full attention to Granny.
All right, Granny. I know you're here to serve me, so why don't I just save us both the trouble and place my order now? I'll have a ham and turkey on rye with chipotle aioli, Swiss cheese, and a side of spicy sweet chili Doritos.
Granny stared at Bryson, her brow furrowing. She didn't have to say a word for the disappointment to hang in the air.
I've got something way better than cold cuts, my little man,
Granny said with a smile.
I've been making homemade lasagna all day just for you, and you have to try my fresh garlic bread.
Bryson shot her the same blank stare he'd perfected with his mom over the years, ignoring her culinary offer completely.
You have my order,
he reiterated, then turned and headed straight to the TV, leaving the two women standing in the doorway.
I'll start slicing the cheese,
Bryson's mother said, heading toward the kitchen. The grandmother followed closely behind, entering the kitchen to find her daughter hunched over the counter, quietly weeping. Granny rested a hand on her daughter's shoulder.
You don't have to make that sandwich, Jennifer. Trust me, it's just gonna make it more unbearable.
The mother turned, her gaze drifting toward the sounds coming from the living room. Through the walls, the high-pitched maniacal laugh of a 12-year-old echoed, overlaid with the background noise of a cartoon.
Do you hear that?
The mother asked, pulling out a butter knife.
That's what he's like when he gets what he wants. Loud, destructive, like nobody else exists. I know it's about more than just a sandwich, but trust me, you don't want to see what the angry version of that is.
I just meant that the sandwich probably won't save him from going to hell,
Granny replied with a wry smile. The mother chuckled, and for a brief moment, the weight of it all seemed a little lighter. They shared the quiet, knowing dread of raising a problem that would outlast them both. Granny's laugh lingered as she watched the first sign of life from her daughter in a while. It was nice to see a flicker of the little girl she raised, rather than the weary woman trying, often unsuccessfully, to correct the demon she had created.
I want Pop-Tart!
But in the moment of dark humor and reflection, neither woman realized that the sounds from the living room had gone eerily quiet.
What's this?
Bryson's voice cut through the kitchen. Both women turned to see what he was holding. In his hands was a small box, wrapped in airplane-themed paper, with a tag that read, "To Bryson, from Granny."
That's a Christmas present, Bryson,
his mother said, her tone firm.
For in a couple weeks. Please go put it back underneath the tree.
It's my Game Boy Advance SP, isn't it?
Bryson grinned, the excitement in his voice barely contained.
Bryson, please listen to your mother,
Granny chimed in, her voice soft but pleading.
Can I open it now? I'm gonna get it in a couple weeks anyway. What's the difference if I open it now?
Bryson pressed, his grin widening. His mom glanced at Granny, then gave a solemn nod.
I may not have many boundaries with you,
she said with quiet regret.
But I don't mess with Christmas traditions. Please go put it back under the tree.
This is the worst Christmas ever!
Bryson shrieked, stomping out of the room.
I'll just watch videos of people playing it on YouTube while I hold the box. This is so unfair!
Though they both felt like they were at the mercy of a little dictator, neither of them could help but giggle at how completely unaware and ridiculously entertaining his tantrums were.
Was I ever that bad?
The mom asked, pulling a glass from the cabinet.
prisoners in Guantanamo aren't that bad.
Granny replied with a sly grin, setting down a bottle of 151 rum, a small smirk curling at her lips.
This is how your father and I always handled overwhelming holidays when you were little.
Filling 2 glasses with ice, Bryson's mom smiled wearily.
I know. I always resented you for that.
The 2 women clinked glasses, the ice rattling as they finally let down their guards. Granny poured the Caribou Lou, and with a rueful smile, shared how her past had unknowingly shaped her daughters. Over the drinks, they began to understand each other in a way they hadn't before, united in their struggle with a common enemy. The laughs, tears, and drinks blended together until the night slowly dissolved into the next morning.
Jennifer, you need to get up!
Granny's voice cut through the fog, her tone unusually excited. The mother groaned, blinking her eyes open to find her mother's face uncomfortably close. She tried to piece together the night before, her memory blurry at best, ignoring the urgency radiating from Granny.
Bryson opened his Game Boy!
Granny exclaimed, shaking her daughter's shoulder. In no time, the 2 women were up, each nursing mugs of Granny's patented hangover cure coffee, a concoction strong enough to power its own festival of lights. They shuffled around the living room in their coziest muumuus, bleary-eyed and disheveled, circling the scene of the crime like a pair of underfunded, overworked, sleepyhead detectives.
This is certainly not my son's finest hour,
the mother said, taking a slow sip from her steaming mug. The subtle notes of Xanax and nutmeg blended seamlessly with the whiskey and nutty undertones of Granny's house blend, making it even harder for her to mask just how over it she truly was.
We've got him dead to rights, Jennifer,
Granny said, nudging the shredded remains of airplane wrapping paper at her foot.
And look at this!
She bent down, pulling the open Game Boy box from behind the tree, like she'd unearthed a smoking gun. The mother lowered her mug just enough to reveal a look of resigned frustration.
I raised a dumb criminal, Mom. This is why I call you crying all the time. Your facts and evidence? Completely useless against this child.
With a sigh, she tipped the mug back to her lips, as though its contents could fortify her soul. Granny studied her daughter, seeing the echoes of her own struggles as a young mother. The weary eyes, the hollow laughter, she knew them all too well. Surely, her daughter's challenges were just a matter of inexperience compared to her own old-school wisdom. Of course, Granny couldn't rely on the belt like her late husband had. It wasn't the 60s anymore, but a lot still could be said for a little Great Depression-era trauma. Leaving her daughter nursing her mug of Christmas cheer, Granny stepped out for a moment, returning with her cell phone in hand and a scowl she hadn't worn in years.
Bryson, can you come to the living room? Your mother and I need to speak with you,
she called. After some muffled sounds from across the house, the 12-year-old appeared, his cowlick as defiant as his attitude.
Yeah, what's up?
He said with sarcastic flair, a smug grin plastered across his face. Granny gave him a long, measuring look.
Bryson, do you know anything about the wrapping paper and Game Boy box I found under the tree this morning?
The boy stiffened, caught in the act but desperate to regain control. Summoning his most convincing theatrics, he launched into a dramatic performance.
What? I didn't steal anything!
Bryson feigned surprise, his hands held dramatically in the air.
Clearly someone broke in and left this here as a cruel joke! I'm going to the spare room for protection.
He turned to leave, eager to escape further questioning, but Granny's calm voice stopped him in his tracks.
That's a good point,
she said, sliding on her readers and picking up her phone.
Maybe I should call the police. I'm sure you won't mind answering a few questions when an officer arrives. Wait!
Bryson blurted, the panic in his voice betraying him. He dashed out of the room and returned moments later, clutching the unwrapped red GameBoy Advance SP. Without ceremony, he tossed it onto the coffee table.
Here,
he barked.
It's basically mine already. I don't see why you're being so freaking stupid about it.
Bryson!
His mother snapped, her voice trembling with frustration.
You can't talk to your granny like that!
Granny raised a hand, silencing her daughter with a knowing smile.
I've got this,
she said confidently. At that exact moment, a sharp knock echoed from the front door. Granny strode out of the room, leaving her daughter and the boy behind. A muffled exchange followed, the front door creaked shut, and her voice drew nearer.
Here's the thief, officer,
she announced, re-entering the living room with backup in tow.
The stolen item is right there on the table. He already confessed.
Come here, son,
the officer said, his voice low and steady. Bryson puffed up his chest, his bravado returning.
You think I'm scared of a pig?
He sneered.
I punched a cop last month and got arrested. I'm 12. You can't do anything to me, so why don't you oink your way out of here?
The officer exchanged a look with Granny. They'd seen it all, but a kid this bold? This was new. The cop crouched down, motioning Bryson closer.
Kid, You don't even know how bad this could go. Let's talk about the evidence.
Bryson hesitantly shuffled closer. Once they were a safe distance from the others, the officer leaned in toward the boy.
We all know you did it.
The officer leveled with the young boy.
And disrespect is probable cause for a tasing in my book.
Bryson's eyes widened as a cold, white fear came over him. He lowered his head in submission.
That's what I thought.
The officer said, standing upright. With practiced ease, he reached for his handcuffs, snapping them on Bryson's wrists. As the officer led Brian out of the house, a strange, almost imperceptible shift passed over his face. Was it guilt? Defiance? It was hard to say. For a moment, it felt like the fire in his chest had dimmed, but it might have just been the cold winter air. Either way, the boy didn't seem like he'd change overnight, but some habits, good or bad, have a way of coming back around. In December of 2006, a 12-year-old boy from Rock Hill, South Carolina, was arrested after opening one of his Christmas presents weeks ahead of the holiday. The boy's mother and great-grandmother discovered the evidence, torn wrapping paper, and an empty box carelessly discarded beneath the Christmas tree. When confronted and threatened with police involvement, the boy retrieved the stolen item, an $85 GameBoy Advance SP. Despite his compliance, the grandmother called the police anyway. The Rock Hill police charged the boy with petty larceny as a juvenile, though he was not held in custody. News reports revealed the boy's troubling behavioral history, including shoplifting, stealing money from his mother, and punching a police officer the previous month, for which he was arrested on disorderly conduct charges. No additional updates were ever provided on the boy's life trajectory, leaving us to wonder, did he outgrow his petty crimes, or did this holiday misstep set the stage for a life of larceny? Whatever path this boy's life has taken since 2006, we may never know. But one thing is clear. As a society, we must unite to curb the rise of bad kids during the holidays. Whether you're a weary parent or the cool relative who watches from the sidelines, it's time to step up and hold these kids accountable. Because bad kids grow into bad adults, and bad adults become the nightmare neighbors, terrible bosses, and occasionally the presidents we all regret. Let's stop evil at its source, one lump of coal at a time, before it's too late.
Preach, Trevin. I was thinking the same thing. This kid should have received coal.
For sure. I don't know who the kid is, but there's just so much information on just like, this was a very bad kid. I don't know if he was that bad. I don't know if he was threatened with a taser. ChatGPT said that was not a funny joke. I liked it. I didn't care. Because the kid is just set up to be so bad. And no, I don't really give him any character development, but in all the articles, it just seems like he's a little demon.
Yeah.
Which I also thought was kind of weird too. When you read the articles, they say in the very beginning of all of them was like, Grandma called the police for him opening the present early to teach him a lesson. But then later in the article, they say he was arrested last month for punching a cop. And I'm thinking, is the arrest supposed to like scare him now? Because it seems like he already has experience with being in cuffs.
Right.
I wanted to make a joke that was like, it didn't fix you last time, but maybe it'll fix you this time. But I decided not to go there.
Ugh. That is awful that the grandma had to get involved, and also awful that she felt like this was the only thing to do, because it sounds like, yeah, they felt like they needed someone of more authority, but it seems like this kid struggles with authority in general.
Yeah, it does kind of seem that way.
Ew, that's a bad apple.
The articles were also very weird about the wording on things too. I simplified it for my story, but there's so many times where they said the great-grandmother, and then they said the Game Boy was from the grandmother, and then they said the mom is 27 years old. So I'm just like, is this like a young family of like, they just kept having kids young, and this is the great-grandmother? Because they did say the great-grandmother called the police. It was a present from the grandmother. So I'm thinking there could have even been another woman involved.
This is generational trauma.
Exactly, which is why I brought up the whole, like, I resented you for drinking thing. It really just kind of felt like there needed to be a generational angle to this.
Yes.
But it was very hard to follow, so I simplified it.
Yeah, that makes sense for writing purposes. Less characters, less voices.
Yes, they did make it clear to say that she was a 27-year-old mother and he was a 12-year-old boy. So, I mean, she had him at 15.
Yeah. It would be hard to gain the respect maybe even more if you're closer to your kids in age, maybe.
I would think so. I mean, you've still got so much growing up to do.
Yeah.
I mean, how many adults still have so much growing up to do?
Seriously. It may have just been like they were all trying to raise this kid together, which I can respect them for it, but it seems like they're still struggling. Well, they were back in 2006. Maybe he's made a change, but yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, no way to know. I Googled a little bit, but I didn't see. I saw that somebody had reposted the story like within the last couple of years, but they had just changed the headline and reposted it and try to make it look like it was recent. Just so it could be like some news station or website just trying to hopefully, Clickbait, yeah.
Damn. And he was unnamed, right? Because he was 12. A kid.
They said he was charged as a juvenile. So the cop did take him in, but didn't really hold him. They just came in and like filed paperwork or whatever. They said in articles, he said, I wasn't going to hold the kid, obviously.
Oh my God. I can't imagine as a parent feeling like I need to call the cops on my kid.
I know. And I've known kids like that too, where the parents felt like they needed to do that. But I couldn't imagine being in that. I feel like if you got that far, then it's probably gotten way out of hand.
Way out of hand. Yes. Whew. Well, we both actually had stories where the person stole their own gifts, basically. So was that the big connection you were going to talk about? Or
yes. Stolen presents and also kind of self-stolen, yeah.
Yeah, self-stolen. Like, what? Stealing your own presents is not okay, even if they're yours. Just be patient. It's going to be all right.
Your lady was just looking for some sort of extra sympathy money and presents too, but yeah, be patient. Just enjoy what you got.
Enjoy what you got. But that is a spot-on connection this week. I mean, you can't deny it.
And I don't think in our other stories, like I did the stolen Jesus, but didn't steal presents. So it's not like we do stolen presents every year.
No. I've had a weird present, the cactus toy that was like saying inappropriate things. But yeah, I've never done a stolen. There was a guy that was stuck in a chimney in one of my stories, I believe.
He wanted to steal the money that was like, there was like money in a stocking that was donated to somebody from a bar.
Yes, it was employees of the bar had stockings and he stole their gift cards or something.
So that's the closest to stealing presents.
Yes.
But as much as you would think, like if somebody was going to say, oh, a petty crime larceny podcast, what, are they going to do an episode about stealing presents? And it's like, well, we did this week, but all the years before we haven't.
I know. It's like, get away from us.
It sounds obvious, but it took us a while to get here.
Took us a minute. There's so many different things and so many different avenues. So anyway, regardless, you guys, if you celebrate Christmas or any of the other holidays around this time of year, or if you celebrate none, I hope you're getting some time off work. I hope you are enjoying the holiday spirit in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be taking some time for ourselves, but also we are planning to come back into 2025 stronger and better than ever.
Yes.
We are working, this is our first time recording with our new cameras, so hopefully everything is going to look better soon.
Yes.
And the dilemma that I wanted to originally do was just that I was actually just really excited because I was going to give myself the gift of working smarter. And so next year I can feel less stressed. The whole dry January is going to allow us to do that. And I'm so ready to kind of be a functioning person outside of this show.
Yes. So you guys, dry January is still going to be a fun ride.
Oh, yeah.
And when we come back in February for our Florida February Crime Fest, oh my gosh, you guys, it's just going to be a beautiful, great year.
Yeah. So I hope you all can be like me and find that bit of relaxing and resting, and maybe not a big goal for 2025. Like I don't care about resolutions, but let's just try to lighten the load off our shoulders a little bit going in.
Yes.
We all deserve a little bit of a break.
Yes. Well, I hope you're all having an amazing week. And just remember, no matter the crime, big or small, in the end, we're all doomed.
Doomed to clean our tissue with a new bidet.
Bye.
See ya.
Give yourself the best Christmas gift and join our Patreon. Bonus content, ad-free episodes, come on over.
And do you have a bad kid this holiday season? Find us on social media and tell us all about that little shit. Find us on Instagram, TikTok, or Threads. Live, Laugh, Larceny.
And have you ever threatened someone on their doorstep while singing Christmas carols? If so, send us your petty crime story, livelaughlarceny@gmail.com.
And give our show the same rating that Grinch prequel got. It won an Emmy. Give us 5 stars wherever you rate podcasts, Apple, Spotify, or Good Pods.
So just be typical cop voice. You don't have to do anything too crazy.
Hello, this is Officer Bert.
You're like, okay, so I'm gonna do it.
I'm gonna be a Sesame Street character.
I love it.
I mean, I can go more.
No, I love it. I